There is an amazing, no pun intended, movie coming out very, very soon called Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Reviews are trickling in as of this morning.
Yep.
And it looks good. This might be our first good Spider-Man movie in a very long time.
This was a weird one going into because it's a partnership between Marvel and Sony, and we've had some so-so Spider-Man movies in the past. We've had some bad ones, to be honest. And this is the first time it's Spidey being done right. We loved him in Civil War. Tom Holland is fantastic, but this is kind of like a weird collaboration. We're like, is Sony going to be calling weird shots here? Is Marvel handling all of it? The trailers have been, I would say, they've shown way too much, but apparently they haven't shown a whole lot because the reviews are out and they sound really enthusiastic, and I'm incredibly relieved.
We're currently looking at a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And that's going to fluctuate.
That's going to go up and down. Wonder Woman seems to have settled at a 92, so that means the last two comic book movies have been pretty damn good. And that's on both sides of the fence, so you can't even get into the Marvel DC stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's good. That's good for everybody. But let's take a look at some of the quotes from these reviews. Right off the bat, Rolling Stone says, "Newsflash, Tom Holland is the best movie Spider-Man ever. He finds the kid inside the famous red onesie and brings out the kid in even the most hardened filmgoer."
That rules.
That's awesome. And I mean, it's Peter Travers, Rolling Stone. He's a great film critic. He's also, I mean, at this point, he's not going to get like fanboy hyped up. But if it's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man made me feel like a kid again, that's good. USA Today, they're kind of a Daily Bugle in their own sense, but they say the magic of Homecoming is that it belongs more to the John Hughes cinematic universe than the Avengers. That is something that makes me incredibly excited because I've always liked the side of Spider-Man that he's a kid in high school. He's dealing with, like teen problems. He's got like, it's teen comedy stuff. Like I like that. And then you throw in a guy who's got like cybernetic vulture wings, and it gets very interesting.
And I think that's tremendously important when you're talking about Spider-Man as a character, especially as a movie. You hear a lot of like, oh, I want the fights to be good, or who's the villains? Like that's really important. How does it tie into the rest of the MCU? What you never really hear about is like, how's the writing? Like the writing is tremendously important for Spider-Man because he walks a very thin line between just being the hokiest, corniest dude in the world, like Spider-Man swings into stores and all that, or having one-liners that are like legitimately heartwarming.
Also, I don't know, like his whole dual life is the most relatable. That's always been Spider-Man's #1 appeal, is that he's like, he goes home and he's got an aunt, he's kind of poor, he gets bullied at school, and then he goes out and fights. It's like when Batman takes off the cape and cowl, he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Tony Stark parties and works on his hot rods. It's like Spider-Man, there's actually something there to focus on. So anyway, IndieWire says Marvel has finally started to figure out what the future of superhero movies might look like. I mean, if they hadn't already, I think at this point we're kind of asking what next. And we know that Spider-Man's going to be in Infinity War, so if he's showing up, and it's just this is very promising. I'm very excited about it. And also, I mean, between this and like Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, it's about time they started kind of shaking things up a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Oh, here's a wall of text. Collider says, Homecoming takes Peter Parker in a fresh direction, not only by investing in his teenage world rather than using it as a backdrop, but by letting him run toward being Spider-Man rather than wrestle with the weight of his responsibilities. This is awesome. I love this. The fact that Spider-Man wants to be Spider-Man and have fun is such a nice change of pace from what we've seen beaten to death in the last two trilogies, where with Tobey Maguire, as of like the second movie, I mean, at the end of the first one, he's like, this is my gift, this is my curse. I was like, yeah, dude, but like, maybe have fun with it a little bit.
Yeah.
You get spider powers. And then Andrew Garfield was like, those are some like legitimately like pretty dark movies. And I think they were kind of going after that that Batman darkness, that grittiness that was so huge. But we're at a point where like you can get the gritty stuff too, but like let's have Spider-Man.
I totally agree. I mean,
wisecracking teenager.
As an audience member, you're like, I can't do what he does because it's highly athletic, and I want to go through escapism and be like, I'm him. I can be depressed at home. I don't need to watch a movie for that. I can do that for free.
Yeah.
Save $12.
Cinema Blend says, Spider-Man Homecoming gets it right. It is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Obviously, walking out of a movie, you're going to have some very special, exciting feelings, and that's, I'm sure people are going to, 6 months from now, be like, here are things that didn't work in that film.
Right.
Once the dust settles. But, like, I don't know, to walk out of there and be like, I love Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man screw it. He's the best Marvel character. He's their Batman. He's the one who everyone knows Spider-Man. Spider-Man's great. Wolverine's cool too, but Spider-Man's the best. And we haven't gotten, like, a proper Marvel treatment of him really ever. So if this is that chance, then hell yeah.
It's also like if you trace back, do you remember a couple years ago when it was like a Thursday night, we got the announcement that like Sony was partnering with Marvel on selling the rights for the movie, and immediately a million questions went in the air, and now they're finally being answered, and it's like, oh no, it's it's okay. We don't know where it's going to go from here. We don't know what the Venom vs. Carnage vs. Sinister Six movie without Spider-Man is, or maybe Tom Holland will walk through the back.
Let's deal with that later. Let's just enjoy the
But right now, things are nice.
Yeah, let's just relish it.
Yeah.
I love this. Is that the same? That's the same one with larger text. I don't know why I did that. Look at that. Just look. Check it out.
Want to see that?
Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Also, I like that this was a quick Photoshop job because clearly, if you've ever seen a newspaper, I don't know, you're watching this streaming on the internet. Maybe you haven't. They don't look like that. That's not what a good newspaper looks like.
They will now.
Anyway,
in 2017.
Polygon, those wordsmiths over there, they put a bunch of words here. They say Spider-Man Homecoming is smart, incredibly funny, and surprisingly clever. It is an entirely unexpected, perhaps even vanishingly implausible, fresh start for the third Spider-Man franchise of the past 15 years. What they're saying there is, this is great, don't screw it up. So, Sony, I hope you're listening. Marvel, keep it up. And then, of course, it can't all be, sunshine and flowers. The Hollywood Reporter, those old muckrakers, they hang in there, true believers. Maybe we'll get it better the second time around. Ooh. So okay. There were like a couple sort of negative reviews. I think the fact that this many critics can walk out of a superhero movie in 2017 and be like, yeah, it's doing something new. It's fun. It's entertaining. That's a testament to either what this movie is doing or the fact that Spider-Man's great. So I don't know. You're probably gonna go see Spider-Man because Spider-Man's awesome, and going to see Spider-Man movies, even when they suck, is still a great time. So. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Swings into theaters soon, as they say when they don't know how to write well.
Thwip. If you enjoyed that, you should also check out our video casting a bunch of Spider-Man villains we want to see. We already guessed Tom Hardy, right? I wonder who else we got. Oh, and speaking of superheroes, we also ran down a bunch of actors who almost played X-Men in the movie, but didn't. Also, Up at Noon is every Thursday at noon Pacific time on IGN. I love you.